just started recording on my end. Oh, there it is.
Okay, let's kick it off. All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Stefan. Occasionally, I record little sessions with people learning stuff or explaining stuff. Usually, other people explain me stuff. Today, we're flipping things around a little bit. And with me is Carolyn. So, Carolyn, who are you?
So I'm Carolyn, and I'm an open source developer at a company called Mishkin. We are a tiny machine learning startup, and we have a lot of open source repos, which is where I come in.
Cool stuff. Open source for a living, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Living the dream.
I know, right? Except for we have no users. But besides that, it's a dream.
All right. And Carolyn and I kind of have developer-facing job. And the thing with developer-facing jobs is that it's usually a little bit tricky to kind of put numbers on the things you do. And this could be because it may not be very clear that all the activities have the result that you want to achieve. And an important fact of this job is that, at least in my opinion, and I think in Carolyn's opinion too, to kind of visualize and keep track of the things to do. So what we want to do in the next 30 minutes is kind of looking into Google DataStudio and Google Sheets on how to build fancy dashboards to kind of visualize and track our daily works. And to show you what we're talking about, I will just quickly share my screen. So let's do it like this. You see yourself? Yeah. Now.
Yes, now I do.
So what I usually do is that I have a massive big thing of dashboards that kind of track all my activity that I do. So what you see there is, for example, all the conference talks that I've given and the published YouTube talks that resulted out of these conference talks. And I track really closely how many people watch these things and how my impact was over there. I do the same things for Speaker Deck. And when I look into here, I basically automatically track what things or what my activities kind of resulted in over the thing. So, and Carolyn and I want to build something similar today, and we'll just kick it off. And Carolyn will share her screen, and then I will guide her through that, how to kind of automatically build dashboards with Google DataStudio. Want to kick it off? Yeah. Now it gets exciting.
I know, right? I almost never use like the Google Suite, so I'm also very excited to get to see that. We have all Microsoft stuff on my team. So
okay.
Can you see my screen? Oh, oops. Is that what I was supposed to do?
Yeah.
Where do you want me to start?
All right. So the first thing is when you want to work with Google DataStudio is that it can be connected with a lot of kind of data sources. You see already on the right side, you can see the YouTube data, search data, ads data, analytics. So when you have access, for example, to your Google Analytics account at your company, you can easily pipe that data into a dashboard, which is actually pretty cool. We can maybe do that the next time. What we're going to do today is powering data from a spreadsheet. So we touch Google DataStudio a little bit later. So can you go to your Google Sheet that you have there already?
Yes, it's very impressive, as you can see.
As in every company or startups, a lot of things come out of a Google spreadsheet, right? Yeah. So, and the first thing that we have to do here is setting up a custom script. So not a lot of people know that you can do custom scripting in Google Sheets, which I think is very nice. So when you now go to Tools, and you can go to Script Editor.
Okay, we're going somewhere else.
Bam, bam, bam. Now you can, so this is a custom functions that you can run inside of your Google Sheets. And this is how we will get, for example, API data in your spreadsheet, which will build some graphs later on. So what you can do now is you can rename the file that is called code.js on the left side. Oh yeah, give the project a name first. That's a good idea.
All right.
Carolyn's
my metrics.
Nice.
What? Metrics?
Scripts, yeah. But metrics works, whatever.
Scripts. Sounds good.
Cool. So now rename the file that is code.js there to import JSON.js.
Import with a dash or no dash? Doesn't matter.
I would go without dash and with JSON all capitals.
Okay. It's all in the details, right?
And it's
Cool.
GS, not JS.
GS. Google
Yeah,
Script.
that stands Google Script, exactly. So, and I already,
Didn't like that.
okay, let's try that again.
It knows that I haven't coded in a long time. There we go. It's
Okay,
fine.
and already I sent you a gist, right?
Yes, you did. It
And
is
can we open
here.
this? There you see the import JS file, GS. And can you copy all of the contents that are in there?
All of it. All right.
So I have literally no clue how that works. This is something that you Google and find at some point. So dump it all in, remove the function. Cool.
All right.
So and save it.
And is this saved? Probably. It's like a little floppy disk. All right.
Floppy disk. So what we can now do, you can go back to your spreadsheet and you can type into the command bar for the cell. So next to the FX, can you just type import? It's not auto-completing. Can you refresh maybe?
Yes.
So what we just added is the import JSON command, which hopefully will appear now to be available here. Does not work?
Why?
All right, let's see. Can you go back to the gist?
Yes.
There is another file, or scroll down. So there's the steps. Can you, we're missing an equal. That's probably why it's not. Can you copy the whole line? Yeah.
Yes. Even though it's your DevRel server, that's fine.
We can change it to your stuff, right? So let's give
Okay.
that a try. And fire it.
Yeah. Loading. Okay.
So what did just happen, right?
Yeah.
So what you see there, when you look at the control bar that we did, can you click on the cell A1 again? So what you see there is that I have a custom server written that fetches me some API data. It's on Glitch. We don't have to worry about that today necessarily. But what you see there is that it goes to the path YouTube, right? And then there's just a comma-separated list of YouTube talk IDs or video IDs. So when we now pick a video, for example, of one of your talks on YouTube, maybe we can quickly Google one.
Yes. I don't even actually know which. Oh, look I search my name a lot.
So you can grab the, and you can remove all my IDs.
All right.
And hit enter again.
Oh, hey, there we go.
So that is your stuff, right? So the thing with these kind of videos is you could now say that, yeah, but Stefan, I could just connect something with DataStudio directly, which is possible. So you could connect DataStudio with YouTube in case you own the YouTube account. For conference, then you get also fancy metrics like how many people watched, how long, how many minutes. If this stuff goes for a conference, for example, it's not that easy because usually you don't have access to the YouTube account, right?
Yeah.
So when we have now a look into the command again, so can you click A1 again? So you see that the import JSON function there has several slash thingies, right? This is just picking the data that comes back from the JSON call. So when you just copy the URL, so the HTTPS up to your ID and paste it into your browser, you can see kind of how that works. So when you just got this, you see that this is the data. And when you look into the command, you see that there's /stats/view count, for example. This is how you map JSON fields to columns instead of the spreadsheet. Does that kind of make sense?
It does. I guess, wait, I have a random question for you.
Go for it.
Why do you only track likes and not dislikes?
That is a good question.
I guess you do track dislikes. You
I'm a
just don't have
positive person. I don't know. I don't want to deal with the negative stuff. I don't know.
No, I mean, it's a valid thing. Everyone has different opinions. It's kind of like the idea of like, do you read comments on your YouTube videos?
I do.
Yeah. Do you reply to them?
I reply to the constructive ones, and I reply very nicely to the not constructive ones, and usually they got deleted. Because
Okay.
the person that was just not nice then figures, well, there's actually a person that sees that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Okay, cool. So, but we're not done here yet. So the thing now is what we have done in the Google Sheet now is, so you see there that we are collecting or that we're picking the fields of the JSON thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then there's no inherit, no truncate. I forgot what that does. But then you see that there is another parameter that is called update hack $C1, no, $C and $1. So when you press now enter in this thing, this is cool. This is not automatically refreshing the data though.
Yes.
So, and you don't want to come every morning and want to press enter in a lot of sheets.
No, that's not really helpful.
So what we have to do is we kind of hack Google Analytics a little bit. So and what we do to do that is we go back to tools and you go again into the script editor and then you create another script file.
All right.
I don't know how to do that. Where's the plus button?
New script file?
Yeah, let's try.
All right.
And you will find the name inside of the gist that I sent you.
All right. Trigger auto refresh.
Correct.
Straightforward enough. I like it.
Name your things wisely, right?
Yes, exactly. And then I'm guessing we should replace this with...
Yeah, paste all the stuff that is in there too.
All right. Okay, this one's a lot shorter.
So I wrote this. This is not the most beautiful code in the world, but what we see there, for example, there's a function that is called trigger auto refresh that gets a spreadsheet that is called update hack. Okay. So let's go back to your spreadsheet, to Carolyn's matrix, to the Google Sheet, and let's create a sheet that is called update hack. So in your
first.
Yeah, good idea.
Just making sure.
Press the plus in the bottom
here
left corner, yeah, and call it __ update hack.
All right.
I think you can double click sheet 2. Oh, like this, yeah.
__
update hack. Let's see if that was the name. Let's go back to the script.
To do something? Okay.
No, not yet.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, that's the name.
Cool. So what you can do in this script editor, this is actually pretty cool. I think I like that personally. So you see this select function thing there on the top.
Select function.
Under resources in the top bar.
Here, yes.
So what you can do there is you can select a function and you can just run it. Yeah, run trigger auto refresh and press the play button.
It needs my permission to access
my
data.
On, go for it. Yeah.
All right. App isn't verified. Only proceed if you know the developer. I am the developer. Excuse me. I guess you would be the developer, but still.
Okay, we're both developers.
No. I meant in this scenario, in like Google's mind, in this scenario.
Okay, let's just, I don't know, refresh and press it again. I've never seen this, so let's see what happens. Import JSON. We're not running import JSON.
Yeah. Okay, let's cancel. Maybe if I close it. I don't know. Is there some sort of permission in the import JSON?
No, it shouldn't.
Advanced? Unsafe.
Yeah, come on.
All right, we're just gonna, we're gonna ignore all of the warnings.
Don't do this at home, people.
I mean, I wouldn't like do this if it was some random code that I found on Google, maybe. But
I have
know
this
you.
running for a year.
Yeah, I think you're safe. I trust you.
And of course, I scanned it before I ran it for the first time, right? So okay. So when we now, for example, go to the sheet again, what you see there is a 4 in C1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and can you run import JSON again in the script editor?
I can. Wait, run import JSON.
No, trigger auto refresh. Sorry, run trigger auto refresh again. So the number should now be different in the perfect.
97.
Right. So and when you now go back to the sheet 1 where that we set up with your YouTube data,
mm-hmm.
and you go into the cell A1, you will see that the 4th parameter there is basically saying this is a parameter that is not defined by the import JSON function. But now we have this function that always changes this value C1. And when the value is different of this function called import JSON, it will refresh the data. Does that kind of make sense?
It does. Is there a reason for it to be C1 or?
No, you can do it to A1 if you want to. I have a few more comments in my update hack to kind of say, don't delete and touch this stuff because it does and does and does, right? And this is where it's coming from. This is why
I'll keep it for now, but then I might update it later. I just think
But you could make a comment into the update hack column just saying it is controlled by this script or something. So because this update hack looks very random, right? There's this one sheet with one number.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you can just go into A1 and just write for your future self until this is auto updated or something. Don't delete.
Auto updated. Don't delete. All caps.
All right. But the thing now is that it is not automatically updating yet, right? So what you can do now is you can go back to the script editor.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, 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 bam. And you see the clock there in the top bar under run. There's the,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So what you can define for Google scripts. Did I say something? Oh.
No, I don't think I was supposed to click on it yet. Do you want me to click?
Oh, was good.
Perfect.
So let's go there. So what you can do is you can, what is that? Yeah.
It's because I've never used it before. So it's giving me all of the like, take a tour of this platform.
So what you can do here is you can define function triggers. This could be an HTTP call, or this could be a timer, for example. So we can now click the big blue button at the bottom. Or this one,
Both of them.
Yeah, so now you can say choose function to run, which should be update trigger auto refresh. Yeah. It's in the bottom. And head deployment, I don't know. And then there's what?
We're back. We're good. All right.
And you can say
head is the only option for that one. So
somewhere here has to be exactly time driven.
Mm-hmm.
I have it every 10 minutes.
Really?
This is every minute. Yeah.
Sounds good.
But just to try it out, we can do every minute, because then we should see the number being updated while we talk. So you can now save this. So and what that now does, this will run every minute. It will run this auto refresh thingy, right? Which will then update C1, which will then lead to your YouTube data being fetched again.
Awesome. All right.
Does that kind of make sense?
It does. And it sounds much more convenient than having to refresh it all the time.
I agree on that one. So let's have a look at the update hack sheet just to see the number and remember it for later. So now it's 89, and at some point it should be something else, right?
Yep.
Cool. So what you can do now, so this is how I power all my stuff. I have this big one Google Sheet that has then several sheets included for YouTube, for my personal stuff, for my upcoming events, for in which region have I been to. Then you can also kind of draw geographical maps, like I was in these countries all of the time, or this and this and this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the problem with spreadsheets is, though, that people usually don't like to look at them. especially not if there are 12 or 15 of them.
Yes. 100%.
And this is where DataStudio comes into play. I only learned about DataStudio this year, but I think it's actually pretty nice. So let's go to DataStudio.
Woo.
And what you see here is that there's nothing for now, right? And what you can do here is you can connect it to several data sources. And we now have a sheet ready that we can connect to it. So what you can do there is you can click the button in the bottom right corner, which says create new data source. Let's pick a Google Sheet.
Sounds perfect. All right.
Let's see if that works better now with the authorization.
We'll see. I mean, it might be unsafe. We'll have to figure it out. Yes. Allow. Yes. Allow. Did I read all of it? No, but I'm sure it's fine.
So here we have Carolyn Matrix.
Yes.
And there you should now be able to get your sheet.
Eventually, yes. Cool.
Did we call it YouTube already?
I did. I changed the name while you were describing it because I was like, ooh, that makes a lot of sense to have different sheets with different names.
Multitasking here. All right, let's connect that.
Do we want to keep both of these? Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know what happens if these are checked or not. Let's see.
Let's see.
All right, here we see what we want to look at. It already parsed the data that is in there, right? Which is like published at date, looks good, title looks good, record count. Yeah, that looks good. So let's add it.
Let's add it. Add to report. Add to report. I should have clicked don't show me again, but it's fine.
Let's see if that works.
It's doing its thing. Reloading. One day it'll happen.
So now we have kind of a chart, which in this case is just a normal table, which is always controlled on the right side. And here you see that you just right now see the YouTube ID, which you maybe are not that interested in. But you see on the really right side the available fields, and you can just drag them into the dimensions field. So you can.
Oh, okay.
And this then should adjust the table that you have.
So if I just like.
Let's see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
Okay. Oh no, dragged it too far. There we go. Probably title is useful.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is now basically, now you have your first kind of chart, which is powered with this automatic fetching thing, right? So if you want to keep track of all the stuff that happens with your published YouTube videos that you don't control, right? Mm-hmm. If they are on your company's YouTube channel, you probably want to do it a little better so that you see minutes and all these kind of things. For not owned properties, this is the best you get. So what you then can do is in the YouTube sheet, you just have to add all the IDs, and then you already get kind of a solid idea of how many people watched my stuff, right? And how many comments were there. So usually I have a look at all this data for all the sources that I kind of track in the morning. And then I also see were there new comments and stuff. Does that kind of make sense?
It totally does. I'm just wondering why my view count is null here, but it's 214 here.
Okay, so let's dig a little bit deeper. So what you can now do is when you go to resource in the top bar.
Resource, yes.
And manage added data sources. So let's edit this one. Let's see, is that correct? So view count is parsed as a date for some reason. So let's change that to the view count.
Yep.
Let's to number. Cool. And let's try that again.
All right. Done. Perfect. There we go.
Cool. Yeah, so this kind of works for all the data that you have. If you want to go further, we could now also set up speaker deck, but actually that is just another API endpoint. So as long as something returns JSON to you, you can visualize that.
Awesome. Quick question. So this record count, what is it? Because it's down here as a blue metric. So like,
let's have a look into the sheet. I'm actually not sure.
I don't see it in the sheet.
Okay, then yeah, I think Google DataStudio tried to be smart.
Ah, okay. Auto.
I don't know what it is. So I would just remove it.
I can't
or
remove
disable.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
or disable. I don't know where it's coming from.
Okay, good to know. Just making sure, because I was like, wait, what?
You have on the right side, you're trying to display data that is not in the data source anymore. So you see on the right side now invalid metric.
And so I should get rid of it.
Yeah, and then it should refresh at some point again. It's not refreshing?
I think I'm just going to manually refresh it.
Hard refresh always works. Yeah.
I am impatient.
All right, let's check the details. We broke it. Let's see the details.
Hold on, one more harder refresh. Okay, never mind. Let's see details. Oh no. Invalid or missing metrics. Okay.
Stats, view count, published, title.
Ah, okay, down here.
All right, let's get rid of this one too. All right, you need to sort it. I would sort it maybe by date.
Okay. Okay.
Back again. So, and when you want to get rid of the index, for example, because I think the index on the very left column, this is hidden in the style tab. So on the right side, when you style the table, yeah, there's a checkbox for row numbers, because that's usually information I don't need.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Cool.
Wow.
And this is basically how far I wanted to come today. Do you have any questions? Was that kind of fruitful?
No, I think that was actually, to be honest, that was a lot more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit more like messy. Let's put it that way.
It went better than I thought too. So let's just have a final look when you go into your sheets again.
Yes.
And you open the glitch server. So you click A1. So you should be able to access just Stefan's default server at glitch.me or something.
Okay.
Let's see what happens, or if it gives you a 404. So this is
there it is.
Perfect, Stefan. Well done. Let me send you just quickly.
Does that mean I could just put anything I want here and it'll do
all right, I sent you a URL via Twitter. There we go.
Twitter.
So in case you want to adjust that, this is an Express server. And you see, for example, that I'm working with Reddit, SpeakerDeck, and Stack Overflow. So if you want to adjust these kind of things, the first two are stuff that we don't care about right now, but the fourth things, so basically just connecting API data, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what this does.
Amazing. Awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and so far next time we can maybe look at geographical maps on how to kind of sum data up and to combine all the sheets.
Yeah, that would be cool. And also like, yeah, getting more into those kind of metrics that you can't necessarily just pull from an API. That would be interesting as well.
Well, the speaker deck, when you, for example, click at the speaker deck JS here on the left side.
Yeah.
So speaker deck doesn't have an API, right? So this is an API.
You made one, didn't you?
Yeah. So this basically fetches the URL and parses the HTML to get views and likes.
Amazing.
So, and this then goes into my spreadsheet. You could kind of argue how valuable speaker deck views are, but I think it's at least to have an idea how many people check your stuff out.
I think it's really interesting. It's something that I personally never like actively check, but then I use the same deck like multiple times that I give a talk. I'll just update the deck on the same part of speaker deck, and I'll be like, whoa, like people actually looked at this. I don't know, for some reason I always am surprised that people look at decks, but I guess I do too, so I don't know why I'm so surprised by it.
I mean, this goes a little bit off topic here, but it kind of tells you how you engage with the audience and how good the conference was, right? If you there should be a kind of difference if you speak in front of 50 or in speak of 500 people, right? Yeah. And with the scripting and with the time triggers, you could just run a script and you could then automatically make diffs. And it's like, hey, after this conference, kind of 300 people checked it out. I think this can be valuable information. Kind of depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. So far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then that's it then. Thank you very much, Carolyn.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Hold on. I'll stop presenting. I want to see my screen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we can then discuss what we don't want to do next. And yeah, I think that was good.
I think it was good too. And yeah, a lot easier than I thought. So good.
Cool. And let's see how this works. I stopped the recording button now.
Oh my gosh.
And